We are going to start, Eva.
Okay.
Good. Can we start then?
Give me one more,
okay.
Few more seconds for the live streaming to begin.
Okay, thank you very much, Anka.
We are live, so we can start. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, welcome everybody to this first InnoWise Scale event. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Rafael Casillas. I'm project manager at BioAzul. I am expert in water research and innovation. And well, we are all here in this event, which is co-organized by EIT Food and also the working group Water and Agri-Food of the Water Europe. I am honored to be the secretary of this working group, and together with the leader Antonio Lorenzo from BioAzul and the co-leader Alfieri Police from CNR. Well, the idea of today's meeting is to get a better insight, a better understanding of which are the challenges of different sectors in terms of coping with water scarcity, and to understand firsthand what's the vision of the problem holders, what are really their needs, and the reason behind this scope for today's event. It's because we also have today with us a good bunch of innovators, of entrepreneurs that have applied to a call for applicants, a very competitive call for applicants, I would say, which was launched by EIT Food, the project coordinator. And we have selected very promising and disruptive solutions that will participate in a whole InnoWise Scale program that will be presented also today. And what we want is to make closer the solution providers with the problem owners, in order to ensure or to support that technological solutions are the best way possible adapted to the needs of the problem holders of different sectors. So I start for the first slide, sorry. So I have to say we have today a great panel of experts to present today the different topics. We'll have a look to the agenda. In the first place, we have our great project coordinator, Carmen Galindo from EIT Food, that will give us an overall overview of InnoWise Scale program and the water scarcity program from EIT, in which we also collaborate. BioAzul jointly with EIT Food, Climate Kick, Digital, EIT Digital, and EIT Manufacturing, and the companies BioAzul and Athena. After the project presentation, we will have a session with experts from different sectors to give us their insights on the challenges of these sectors to cope with water scarcity. Here we have Professor Attilio Toscano from University of Bologna. We have Mercedes Yartu from PepsiCo and Eva Martinez from Aqualia. And after that, we will have another session with what we call the problem holders, which are companies that have been also selected in this call for proposers, and that will host demonstration activities from our technology providers, from our entrepreneurs. And here we have Fernando Bañón from Sanlúcar Group. We have also Thomas Seitaridis from the JAP and Francesco Fatone from March Polytechnical University in representation of CIIP. We will have Q&A sessions after each of the sessions, so you are all encouraged to make your questions through the chat. And I hope this event satisfies your expectations. We have put a lot of efforts to make a good program, and I think it's going to be a very nice event. To start, to break the ice, we also prepared a short survey with the Slido, also to get to know better who's in the room, because this is an open event, so not only people part of the InnoWise Scale program are here. Also, other people. So you are invited to go to sli.do and enter the code that you have here, the 012978, or you also can go in one step directly with using this QR code at the bottom of the slide, and we will have to answer few questions. So if you want, we can take a few seconds to start. Yeah. Here you still have here the code and the number at the left. And the first question is, from which country do you come from? Okay, good. We have Sweden, Spain, Italy. Good. Greece, Slovenia. I see a very wide representation. South, North Europe. Our friends from Portugal are here as well. Good. I can't see how many people are answering because my screen is okay. 20 answers so far. Good. Italy also well represented. It's good because our InnoWise Scale program is initially more focused on Mediterranean, namely Spain, Greece, Italy, Cyprus, and Malta, but it's open to innovators from all over the world, and they are quite well represented today. So I'm also happy that this brought interest from other countries. Good. We have Cyprus. And okay, we are going to the next question. Let me see. Okay. We have now a quiz, but I think good. Sorry, we're having problems with the quiz. Yeah, people are writing their names in a very creative way. That's good. We were supposed to write down how we envision water scarcity and how we are supposed to what inspiring word is leading us to cope with water scarcity, but you are very creative and starting to put your names here. That's great. Let me see if I can solve this going back. If not, it's problems of direct streaming, and I hope everybody understands. Yeah. Okay. Well, just short question. What do you think is the water footprint for a glass of beer of 250 milliliters? You think it's 11 liters, 24 liters, or 74 liters? Now that we are getting close to summer, it's at least I come from Malaga, it's getting very hot, and I am willing to have a nice glass of beer, but are we aware of how much water we need to produce a small glass of beer? Good, we have 32 responses, and let's see who found the right answer and who was the quickest. Okay, I see many people think 11 liters. Most people thought 24 liters, and 1/3 got 74. Let's see. And the right answer is 74. So who was first? Antonia from Spain. Good, Antonia, you are always so quick with these games. And now we have it. Good, we could correct. So describe in 1-2 words, how do you envisage the best solutions to go with water scarcity? Write down what inspiring word it's you think leads to a best water practice. We see reuse very big, so it has been repeated. It's true, reuse is very relevant, and we are now we have to be aligned with the circular economy action plan, which encourages us to reuse in the different sectors. We also have recently approved the water reuse regulation by the European Commission and the European Parliament. And but we have to value water, and to understand what's the value of water, educate, I would say communicate. Water reuse and recycling is very much present. I like that because I am very much in favor of water reuse. Nature-based solutions are there, very, very relevant, and with also other positive impacts. Efficiency, that's absolutely relevant. Yeah. Good. I'm very happy we got even more answers in this quiz. 39. Great. We will keep this figure for some communications, Eugenia. Good. Well, to finalize with this sort of opening, you are also all encouraged to interact on social media, to send your insights, your comments, your ideas, your suggestions. And here you have the hashtags you can use, for example, in Twitter. Well, I will not extend more because I really want to hear what our experts are going to bring to our different sessions. So very welcome to today's workshop. And I am going to start sharing. Here are the contact details of Carmen Galindo, our project coordinator, and also our next speakers. I would like to take a minute to present Carmen. Just a second, I have it here. Well, Carmen Galindo, it's the coordinator, as I said, of the water scarcity program of EIT, from EIT Food. She's an agricultural engineer with an inquiry mind. After a few years dedicated to food production, she jumped into the innovation arena to support the startups and SMEs in their product development path towards the market. This has brought her to be updated on the state of the art in several areas, such as food technologies and water technologies. And she strongly believes that through science, innovation, and passion, we can change the way we live to make this world a better place. Oh, those are very inspiring words. I look forward to hearing your presentation, Carmen, and to get to know more about this program. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Rafa. It's a pleasure to work with you, and it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for your nice introduction, and also for Water Europe for allowing us to be here today. I think it's a good collaboration, and it's a nice place where we can expose and disseminate all the actions that are being doing around water scarcity. So I'm going straight to the point. What are we doing? We are here today to present the InnoWise Scale activities, which is one part of the program called Finding Innovative Solutions for Water Scarcity in Southern Europe, or the Water Scarcity Program in short. This is an initiative from the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, which is Europe's largest innovation community. We work together with policymakers, with innovators, with farmers, with industry, with universities to support and to enhance Europe's innovation capacity. We do so working in several, what we call the KICs, the knowledge and innovation communities. Each of us working in fighting or tackling different societal changes. So from climate change to the digital transformation to enhancing the sustainability of the European food system, and promoting competitiveness around for the manufacturing industry. So why, in this context, I've mentioned each of us work in the challenges of each of our sectors, let's say, but we understand for this program, several of us are working together. This is a cross-sectoral activity where climate kick, manufacturing, digital, and food, we have joined forces to tackle water scarcity. And why have we done so? We understand that water is not only a precious resource, but it's something that needs to be alleviated or tackled from different angles. So it's us from the responsibility of the food production system, but it's also a matter of everyone having access to enough and safe and good quality water for different activities, from just the way we live to the industry. So, as I've mentioned, and as Rafa said, this is we are a big team. So if you are actively participating in the program, you can reach to all of us at different kicks. So in EIT Food is me, and also Eugenia, which is there fighting for everything working fine today. Thank you very much. It's also Eva and Beatriz in Climate Kick, Blanca, Ivana in manufacturing, Jesus and Elena in EIT Digital. But it's not only the KICS community, it's also some of our partners. So Rafa is here, Antonio is here, and also from Athena, Phoebe and Lydia, bringing the knowledge and bringing the more technical expertise that is needed to have a solid basis for working towards a more resilient economy and water smart economy. But again, we are not alone. We work with with different stakeholders. So the program is divided in several different actions. On the one hand, we have the body of knowledge, working with experts to create knowledge, to define which is the route we need to go, and to define the challenges that need to be addressed. On the other hand, we want to share that knowledge, building capabilities to the industry, to working together with the industry. And in that sense, we will have more technical seminars in the future in October, so keep posted. And then the third block, and the one we are here today, is the block with the innovators. This is the InnoWise Scale is a support program for innovators and entrepreneurs working on water scarcity. As Rafa mentioned before, this InnoWise Scale brings together, on the one hand, the bigger companies, corporate utilities that have a real a problem or a need, with the innovators that may have a solution for them. So we make sure that what we support has a direct impact in what the industry needs. We have defining for this several challenges in agriculture and the food and beverage sector, and also challenges that are faced by the utilities and water infrastructure networks. And I'm not going to go through this now because I believe all of you are aware of those. But it has been very challenging. We have launched an open call with many good quality applications from both sides, from the problem holder perspective and also from the solutions providers perspective. And it's been a very tough decision. So I want to congratulate all of you that have been selected to participate in the program for Make It Through. And we are here also today to present them. So I'm going to start with the first case study. Rafa has introduced it. So we have on the one hand the YAP, which is the municipality water supply for the greatest Thessaloniki area, and Thomas will be explaining later the challenges they face, and for that we have selected a bunch of technological providers, both scale-ups and innovative SMEs, working in different aspects, since from pollutants or detection to leak detection to asset management and asset monitoring, and they will be working these months together to find to present their case, let's say. The second case will be presented later by Fernando Bañón with Sanlúcar, an international company producing and supplying fruits and vegetables all around the world. And we also have selected companies from irrigation management platform, crop management platform, water saving technologies. And in the third case, we have water utility also in Italy, working and looking for options for the use of non-conventional water resources for agricultural purpose. And in that sense, we have also looked for different technology suppliers from earth monitoring and alternative production and uses of water. But this is not, they are not alone. We have a bunch of group of mentors that will be, each of the participants will be assigned, and we will be having the matchmaking next week. And this program wouldn't be the same if it were not for the mentors. So I want to give you also thank you for participating in the program. So what's next in the InnoWise Scale activities? The next step will be the challenges presentation, which is today. We will have the challenges presented later, and the matchmaking, which will take place next week with the first encounters. Those matchmaking and the encounters between problem holders, solution providers is a close event. So that will be the period where they will start working, and after 3 months of mentoring and training, finally we will have a final exhibition where all attendants will be invited to participate and to see the result and the progress that everyone has done. That will end in a competition where several prizes will be provided to the innovators, and also in the future a second event will be handled to present not only for a networking event where all entrepreneurs, problem holders, but also the water academies and the experts collaborating with us in the program will be invited to present a networking event itself. From the InnoWise Scale activities, after all, one of each group will be the lucky one to continue with the program next year in a demo phase together with the problem holder. So I'm looking forward to see how this evolves. And in any case, if you want to know more about the program, you can always drop us an email to Evgenia and to myself. You have our emails here. And you can ask more about the program, stay tuned for future opportunities, and also to know what are the future events we will be having. And that's all from my side. I hope I didn't go too much over the limit.
Good. Thanks a lot, Carmen. You really kept very well the timing. Yes. If you guys have any comment, we have now some minutes for that. I see in the chat there is a comment from Ivana about the water academies, and you can see in the chat that there is the link for registration. Water academies is another of the activities of the program. I don't know, Carmen, if you want to say something more about the water academies, because it might be also interesting for our audience.
I believe so. The water academies are led by EIT Manufacturing, Ivana in the chat. So the water academies will be technical seminar, will take place later in the year in October and early November, and it aims at industries at different sectors, promoting or building capabilities for or learning new techniques and what are the challenges and what can be done for a more efficient use of water in the daily operation. So our training and capacitation seminars aiming at the industry and at the end users itself.
Okay, good. Seems there are no more questions. Probably there are here a lot of SMEs that are knowing for the first time the program. They just read in the call for applicants, but we will have time, right, Carmen, in next meetings to to probably go more in depth in the different activities that we will have and in the training services that we are going to provide in the frame of this program. So if
Yes.
there are no
If
more...
I may, Rafa,
Sure, please.
just 1 second. For whoever is in the chat, you can, Ivana has shared a link, so you can, if you are interested in knowing more, you can give your data there, and we will update you soon.
Good. So if there are no more questions, we move on to the next speakers. We have here Attilio Toscano, who will tell us more about the challenges of the agricultural sector. Attilio Toscano is hydraulic engineer with a PhD in environmental engineering, and currently he's full professor of agricultural hydraulics and watershed protection at the Alma Mater Studiorum, University of Bologna in Italy. His main experience is on irrigation, water management in agriculture, nature-based solutions for wastewater treatment and reuse. And he's also the principal investigator of different national and international research projects. He's indeed currently the coordinator of the PRIMA project Fit for Reuse that we in BIOS will have the pleasure to participate as well. He's also the work package leader of the Horizon 2020 Swamp project. He's author of many scientific articles and editor of several scientific journals in the water domain. So Attilio, thank you very much for being with us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rafa. Could you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
And could you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Rafa. Too many words to introduce myself, so thanks a lot. And first of all, I would like to thank Carmen, Rafa, and Antonia for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you. So the organizers asked me to give a general overview about the status and the impact of water scarcity on the agricultural sector. So my presentation is not my own work, but it is a collection of several findings from relevant documents that you can see here in this slide, coming mainly from the European Commission and so on. So first of all, I would like to say that we need to say that agriculture, as we know, is the biggest water users at the European level, accounting about 40% of water used in agriculture, or water abstracted in Europe. And this water comes mainly from surface water and the rivers. This means that in the summer period, the exploitation of a river basin is very high, especially in Southern Europe, as you can see here. If we go more in detail, these volumes of water has a lot of impact, especially in Southern Europe, where the water used for agriculture account almost the 60% of water used in agriculture. This is, of course, true since the increase in Southern Europe of temperature goes to increase the evapotranspiration rates and then higher crop water requirements. This is the reason why the Southern Europe is mainly the biggest water user for the agricultural sector. And the drought, so the water scarcity, had already an impact in Europe. As you can see in this map, the intensity of drought impact and the impacted area by drought is relevant not only in Southern Europe, but almost all Europe was impacted in the past by this event in terms of minimum vegetation productivities. And the areas more affected by this was for sure the Iberian Peninsula. Sorry, Rafa, but at your home, it was a really difficult situation. And this is the status now, but which are the perspective in the future? As you know, the International Panel on Climate Change, based on different data and information, performed 4 possible scenarios, named 2.6, 4.5, 6, oh sorry, and 8.5, depending on the gravity of the climate change impact by the year 2100. And based on these possible scenarios, they projected some information about climate parameters. One of these is for sure the temperature. And in this map, you can see the projection, the expected increase of temperature in the Mediterranean area. Mediterranean area means not only Southern Europe, of course, but the entire Mediterranean basin. And we know that right now the temperature are increasing 0.03 Celsius degree per year at the moment. And in the Mediterranean, we got 1.5 degrees Celsius more than the pre-industrial period, with a very extreme events in terms of high temperature at the moment. And the projection for the future, according to the medium-low scenarios, so the 4.5, are that in the future, we will have an increase of different Celsius degree in the Mediterranean area. This is for sure a problem, as it reflects this effect also in the change of precipitation. And in this map, you can see the change in annual precipitation projected at the annual level as well at the summer period level in Europe in the last part of this century. So this is according to the worst scenario, so the worst situation we could have in the future. And as you can see, the region that will be really impacted, affected by this change in precipitation is for sure the Southern Europe, especially in summer, where we can achieve also a decrease of about 40% in precipitation. This for sure means that the frequency of meteorological drought will increase. Where it will increase again, of course, in the Southern Europe. Here you can see the months over a 30-year period of drought period. And as you can see in Spain, Portugal, Southern Italy, Greece, and Turkey, we will expect, if nothing changes, an increase of the frequency of meteorological drought up to 15 months of droughts in a 30 years period. That means much more water scarcity in the future. The impact of these effects on the agricultural sector is not only related to the production, the less water availability, but it is reflected also in an economical value. And the European Environmental Agency estimated a decrease of land value due to the climate change effect. So in our case, due to the less reduced water availability for irrigation in the agricultural sector, up to 9% in the case of 1 degree Celsius rise in the global temperature, again projected by the end of this century. And the climate change could cause also up to 16% loss in agricultural income in all the Europe. These data have to be addressed and have to be as to force us to act in some way to solve or to reduce or to adapt to this project, to this problem. Right now, most of Southern European countries are already experiencing water stress. And in this map, again provided by European Union, you can see the problem that affect now the Southern Europe and that will be more and more exacerbated in the future. we go for large increase in heat extremes, decrease in precipitation, risk of drought increased, risk of biodiversity loss. This means increasing in water demand for agriculture, decreasing crop yields, and so on. So, which are the challenges and the perspectives for the futures? For sure, we have to go for several adaptation measures at farm level. And these measures could range from, for sure, water conservation and water efficiency. So irrigation methods more and more efficient to distribute and to save water in the right manner. But we can go also to sustainable production practice, improved animal condition, farm protection measures, as well as crop diversification and rotation. So not only one measure is important to contrast and to adapt for climate change and related water scarcity, but several measures has to be adopted in the future agricultural sector. And if we go with a focus on the irrigation efficiency, right now there are many possibilities to improve the irrigation efficiency in the world, and the technology necessary for this is quite well developed and accessible. We are talking in several parts about irrigation 4.0, smart irrigation, and so on. But what I would like to highlight is that recently we are start talking about the paradox of irrigation efficiency. The paradox of irrigation efficiency was highlighted a couple of years ago by a group of very well-known experts on the field. And this paradox means that the increase in irrigation efficiency at farm level is not sure that lead to a water saving at the basin or district level. This is not sure, and it is also in some cases proven that is not the right, the only possibility to reduce the use of water for agriculture, the water consumption. So we have to discuss about adaptation measures at district or at basin level. Of course, it's important also to achieve higher irrigation efficiency at farm level. But if we forget to adapt at the basin or district level, this could lead to not so efficient adaptation measure. What means to adapt at a larger scale, so at district or basin level? It means for sure a measure awareness about the farmers of the possibility that they have and the rules that they have to follow to adapt to climate change. For sure, there is also a topic addressing risk management. But the two main measures that we can use in the future to adapt for climate change or water scarcity are work on irrigation infrastructure, not only at farm level, but at district level. Southern Europe is full of irrigation consortia that manage water to be distributed to several farms, and we have to act at this level to reduce the losses, to metering the water use, and to increase the automation and remote control of these big networks and infrastructures. But we have also to use more and more alternative water resources, as highlighted in the previous presentation by Carmen. So we have to improve the use of mainly treated wastewater that have been presented in our cities, regardless the climate change. Just to give you short highlights about a couple of projects managed by University of Bologna in the ongoing or in the past related to this topic, I would like to share with you the SWAMP project. That is an Horizon project where we developed an integrated and IoT management platform able to include in a unique platform the optimization both at farm level, so to provide the right amount of water in the irrigation methods at the single farm stage, but this is integrated on one optimization method of the distribution systems of an irrigation consortium, based on several data collected from several sensors from atmosphere, soil, and the metering of water into the canal and pipelines and distribution network, able to optimize the distribution and the irrigation also at farm level, as well as the project that Rafa mentioned before related to the use of the safe use and reuse of treated wastewater for irrigation. That is the project Fit for Reuse. It is a Prima project addressed to find solution both for treatment in a safe way and at a low cost way, able to treat wastewater to be able to be used for irrigation, but also the project is addressed to find the right solution to apply this treated wastewater with the different irrigation methods. And finally, I would like also to highlight another things that was cited before, so natural-based solution. Natural-based solution in agriculture, from my point of view, will become more and more important, as well as natural-based solution have the possibility to become natural water retention measures, as you know, by using different kind of NBS, like buffer strip or floodplain, wetlands, and so on, that will be able to retain water into the agricultural domain, that water that to be reused. And on this topic, we are working again in another Horizon project named Water Agri. This is one of the main possibility to increase the awareness and the sustainability of the use of water in agriculture. So I think that we have different challenges for the future. Climate change is expected to increase water scarcity for sure in Southern Europe. Agriculture is the main sector that will be impacted, will be affected by this problem. So for us, it's now imperative to plan long-term adaptation measures to mitigate this negative effect. So that's all for me, and I think that this event is very relevant for this aspect. And thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Attilio, for this very interesting presentation. We have one question. Since it's only one, I think we can have it now, better than at the end of the session. It's a question from Rick Segers. Are data or estimations available combining improved irrigation efficiency combined with better soil health, for example, via the use of more microbial solutions?
For sure, there are research in the literature that integrate the microbial behavior of the soil as a measure to improve the water retention capacity. And I think that also this aspect could be integrated in modeling the soil moisture behavior to have a water balance more and more precise to give to the soil the right amount of water. So this is for sure one other possibility.
Thank you. Also, one question from my side. You were talking about the potential of using non-conventional resources, such as reclaimed water. There are a lot of benefits, but which are the main barriers? Because it's very much promoted by the European Commission. We have the European regulation own minimum requirements for water reuse, but why this is not so well spread in at European level, especially in water scarce regions like Mediterranean?
I can talk about Italy, for example. As you know, the main barrier in the past was the national legislation. The national legislation was very strict for us. It was almost not possible to use treated wastewater due to a lot of monitoring needs from the national legislation. So at the end, we performed in Italy water reuse as indirect wastewater reuse. This means that wastewater treatment plant discharge into irrigation canal, and then water have been used for irrigation. But this is the main barriers. So from my point of view, the new European regulation is a very added value, since all the countries should contribute with a unique framework to be used for this topic. And then for sure, the public acceptance of this aspect. Public acceptance, not in terms of safety, for sure, in terms of safety, but also, in my opinion, the problem is that we have to link the use of treated wastewater for agriculture with the European agricultural policy in terms of the quality of final products. You know that we have the quality of final products, especially in Italy, that is really relevant, and we have to say to the farmers that using this water will not affect the quality of the final products for the market. This is, from my point of view, one of the main barriers at the moment.
Thank you, Tito. We have a last question from Peter Rubik. Are there chemicals for wastewater to remove unknown pathogens and viruses or dangerous nanoparticles like heavy metals?
To remove unknown pathogens, what means, I don't know, and viruses, dangerous nanoparticles like heavy metals. There are other chemicals. I think that Francesco Fatone in his presentation later on will show us all the possibility of innovation in the water treatment domain. I believe that we have no problem about the technology to remove all we want to remove from water. It's a problem of cost, probably. Yeah. How will cost the removal of all these substances? And again, it's a problem of risk we want to accept. So one of the most important things, there will be the risk management plan for the reuse in Europe.
Yeah, thank you. We have to move on. Let's keep this question for Francesco in his presentation, but now it's time to move on to the next speaker. Thank you very much, Atilio. It was very interesting. And we have here with us Mercedes Yartu to tell us her experience in PepsiCo and the challenges to be more water efficient. Mercedes is an agronomy engineer with a master's degree in agro-sustainability. She did a master thesis on sustainable irrigation in potato crop using sensors and spectral images, and won the first academic sustainability award of PepsiCo Spain. Then she joined the agro team of PepsiCo, where she's currently the agro procurement assistant supervisor. Thank you very much for being with us, Mercedes. You can share your screen and start whenever you want. Yes, we see now the presentation.
Yes, you see it?
Yes, now, yeah. Perfect. You can start.
I'm going to... Yeah. So thank you very much for inviting PepsiCo to this webinar. And thank you, Rafael, for the presentation. I hope you enjoy the presentation. I'm going to talk to you about Crop Trak, which is an app we are using in PepsiCo for follow our crops, potatoes in this case. and then I'm going to explain you our irrigation scheduling project, which we work from Iberia. First of all, I would like to explain how PepsiCo feels about water. Water is fundamental to our food system and to PepsiCo's business. It nourishes the crops used to make our product. It's the main ingredient in many of our beverage and an integral component of our manufacturing operations. But in some regions, water is scarce and climate change is worsening pressures on water resources around the globe. Estimates indicate that by 2025, 2/3 of the world population will live in water-stressed regions. So PepsiCo's positive water impact strategy focuses on improving water stewardship across our business and in regions where we operate. Our ultimate goal is to support long-term sustainable water security for all users, especially in high water risk areas. As well as taking action in our own value chain, we aim to use our expertise and influence to advocate for the local policies and practices that can protect and replenish watersheds. Based on these previous points, improving water efficiency in our crop is a challenge for the agro team of PepsiCo, which I am part of. It's quite important to optimize the water that we are applying to our fields, as we are using an important amount of water to irrigate our potatoes. We work in optimized irrigation to our potatoes, and before explaining how do we support our growers with irrigation, I'm going to explain you what is Trak, which is where we do the advice nowadays. Trak is a global app that we use from PepsiCo Agro Team. It's a platform of big data collection for understanding the agriculture and how to optimize it. We started in 2018 to collect massive data points from our fields and agricultural processes. Like you see the pictures, from field preparation information to planting, all the way through growing season, capturing a lot of data regarding the inputs. As you can see in the pictures, from fertilization, agrochemicals, the irrigation, so we can measure how we are using them. Finally, we also capture the harvest data, and the data gathering continues in the stores. All these fields we follow are referenced in each location, as we call it fields. How is Europe with Trak? Just for some numbers, to you understand the value and the huge project. We are collecting a massive amount of data, around 1 million crop data points per season. And we have currently 3 seasons in the systems. And we are collecting now the 4th one right now, this 2021 season. We also have a huge amount of weather data points, around 640 million weather data points across Europe and fields in the system, representing around 50,000 hectares in whole Europe. These hectares are divided in 900 growers and 770 stores in which we store the potatoes during the period of time to supply the factories when the weather conditions don't allow us to have the crop in the fields. So from Iberia, now we know what is Trak and the info we collect. The question is, how can we support our growers to know how much water to apply to their potato crops? So we worked in an irrigation scheduling project to answer this for Spain and Portugal fields. Our objectives of the project were leverage crop track information of crop development, the variety and irrigation method to give more precise advices to the farmers. Secondly, to provide farmers with weekly irrigation advice. And finally, they familiarize farmers about the use of water balance to reach a good relation of water supply and water needs of the crops within the range of 9 to 110%. This range has been studied as the maximum efficiency of water. It means that if we irrigate more, doesn't mean we are going to have more yield. The project started in 2012, and it was the establishment of the baseline of the project, measuring how the growers were irrigating without any advice. We use the information from the eco moisture probes at different depths. With this information, we established the KC, that is the crop coefficient value, and we related them to the ground cover that maybe some of you have heard, like the canopy of the crop. Then we start in 2015 sending the irrigation advice, but we work with INCRA, an organization of Spain. During this time, we sent a general advice for areas in Spain using the weather information, but this advice was not accurate as we were considering fields with different crops development in the same bucket. Maybe one were planted 3 months ago and another one month, so they were not at the same crop development point, but we were sending the same advice for everyone. So in 2018, when we start with crop track, we had the crop development information per field, I mean the crop coefficient. So we were able to send a specific and accurate advice per field with a total advice for every grower per field, depending on the ground cover. So how do we calculate the irrigation advice? First of all, on the red box, we see weather station. Is the information we take from the weather station is the evapotranspiration. And then we use the crop coefficient, which we take from crop track, from the crop development. And finally, we multiply it for the efficiency of the irrigation method that the grower has. With this information, we have the crop water consumption for a weekly basis. And then we send them to the grower smartphones, so they will have it ready everywhere. The specific advice per field is critical to obtain good results and to give an accurate advice to every grower. With this information, also we train the growers how to make the water balance of their fields, taking into account the irrigation and the rainfall. So we are giving the exactly water needs to the crop. The results of the project, allow us to check the adherence to the program of the grower and see the percentage between the water applied by the grower versus the water need by the crop. So here we have a graphic which represents the water applied by the grower per week. The blue bars, the blue dark bars represent the rain, the other blue ones, the irrigation, and the orange line, the advice we send in a weekly basis. As we can see, the grower is irrigating as the advice, so it's a very efficient water apply. In this graph, it's represents one grower for the first year of the advice. So there we can see that in the last times, the advice was not followed by the grower and him irrigated below the advice. But what we want to show is that the evolution of the irrigation scheduling program. In this slide, we can see the evolution of the fallow fields along the years. The green bars represent the grower irrigating in the optimum range of water applied versus the water needs, and the orange band represent the growers irrigating over the optimum range or below the range, which, as I said before, is 90 to 120%. The orange bars also could be causing yield losses and higher water footprint. From less than the 50% of growers irrigating in the optimum range in the first years to over the 80% optimizing water use in last years, since we start with the crop track advice. We had the crop development information per field, so we are able to send the specific and accurate advice per field. And the results of this accurate and specific advice is quite clear in the table. So I think it's clear that a system like this is helping our growers to grow potatoes in the better way, applying the water needs for the crop and doing the irrigation efficiency. So as the conclusions, I would say that the 84% of the fields that we follow were irrigated in the water needs range 90 to 110%. This specific irrigation advice per field are essential as they take into account the crop development of the crop coefficient in every single field and not in a generic value for a bigger area, which is covering several fields with different ground cover. It's important to establish sourcing strategies based on water footprint by region, taking into account the rainfall versus the total water applied. And finally, just you to know that as we establish the irrigation scheduling in crop track, and the crop track is used in Europe and also globally, we have extended the advice now for some fields in Greece and Turkey, and our aim is to continue increasing the number of fields that are irrigated efficiently. So this is all for my side. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mercedes, for this very interesting presentation. We have only time for one quick question. Someone's asking about potential satellite solutions, if you have tested this kind of technologies to improve irrigation efficiency. Do you have any experience with this?
We are actually working with the potential images from satellites, and maybe in a time we integrate it in our app, but we are working in that. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you, Mercedes. Good, so it's time to move on to our next speaker. She's Eva Martinez, and she will tell us about innovative projects carried out in Aqualia to improve water services sustainability. Eva is responsible for the smart services within the innovation department at Aqualia, taking part in the assessment of state-of-the-art of smart technologies, implementing, evaluating, and optimizing them with the integral water cycle through international research and development projects. Eva has 15 years of professional experience as leader in strategy development, innovation, leading and conducting business with public and private entities in the field of water management, water processes, environment, and sustainability. Thank you very much, Eva, for being here with us. The floor is yours. We look forward to hearing you.
Thank you, Rafael. Do you hear me well?
Perfectly.
Okay.
Let's see if we are fine with the presentation this time. Yes, we can see your screen perfectly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Speaking now.
When you put it in presentation mode, or you prefer not to try?
Oh, let me try.
Now we see your presentation. First slide.
Okay, just the first one is big enough. Yeah, it's okay.
It's a little bit small. I think you have an option to in a.
Wait.
Because for me it's a bit small.
Yeah.
Do you don't have like options for presentation?
Maybe. No.
Now it's great. Now it's great.
Great. Okay. I'll start then. So thanks very much, Veronica. Thanks very much for the introduction. So my name is Eva Martinez, and I belong to the innovation department at Aqualium. Thanks very much to Tony and Rafael for having me here. So I just wanted to share a few words about the company. Aqualia is the fourth largest water management company in Europe.
Sorry, Eva, it's not readable. We can see the presentation, but I don't know if it's only me, Carmen and Eugenia.
You don't hear me?
We hear you, but the presentation, it's not clear. The words. It's. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I have comments. It's blurred with very low resolution. Maybe it's the connection. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see if we can do something. If not, just try to be very clear, and we can try to follow you. I don't know if there's something we can do.
Let me check.
Yeah, but it seems the case for other people.
Yeah.
Someone is saying perhaps it's Apple laptop.
No, no, it's not. It's not. So you don't see this well now? No.
No, not really.
Maybe to send us your presentation and we share it.
Yeah, that would be better.
Rafael, can you handle it, or shall I do it?
Please, if you can do it.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I can
you
be
can
more...
start Eva, and at the same time you send me the presentation link.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Just let me. Okay. I am sorry about this. So I sent.
No, it's fine.
Maybe in this time, Rafael, we could see like who the participants are, like they can rename like the names and the institution. So to who they are here and from which countries.
Sorry,
maybe the participants could rename like their company names that they represent and their personal names.
It's good.
And maybe the country as well. We have, I think, more participants.
You can write in the chat where are you coming from in the meanwhile. So we have, okay, I see Isabel Oler from CMAT Spain, Plataforma Solar de Almería, Antonio Touriño, Foresa Technologies. Good. And in the meanwhile, we are trying to solve this. You can send it to me, Eva, by email, and I will.
Okay.
Maybe it's easier if you want, or whatever is easier for you.
I will send to both of you. Presentation. Okay. On its way.
We were informed in the beginning that Zoom was not a trustworthy 100% all the week, so no worries. You are just unlucky.
Yeah, but it's the first time that happens. Eh? I've done a few, and
you're the lucky one today, Eva.
Yeah.
Good. I see other people posting their names. Tatiana from Second Floor, Alicia Andreu from Instituto de Tecnología Cerámica, Mari Adler from the National Institute of Hydrology, Bucharest, Romania. Good that there are people interested in the topic from many regions and countries in Europe, and also from different sectors. Good. Did you send the file by email, Eva?
Already done, yeah.
Okay, I'm charging to see if I receive it. It may take a few seconds to. Okay, I got your email.
Great.
Just a second. Great. Good. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Good. Good. Now.
I sent it in PDF. I didn't.
Yes, it's PDF.
It wasn't my intention, but it's fine.
It's fine, I think. Yes. So we go. You were here. Can you see now everybody can see the presentation more clearly?
Great.
Yes.
Great.
I apologize.
No, come on. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna be very brief about the company. So Aqualia is the fourth largest water management company in Europe and the ninth in the world in terms of population served, according to the latest Global Water Intelligence ranking that was in March 2021. So we manage each company of the integral water cycle, which consists of capture, treatment, purification, distribution, and collection of wastewater, and its treatment to be returned to the environment in optimal conditions. Aqualia also work in the operation, maintenance, and the technical assistance of all kinds of hydraulic infrastructures. So if you go to the next slide, we'll see that we currently serve nearly 30 million people in 17 countries in Europe, but also Colombia, Chile, Ecuador, in France, Italy, and Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Tunisia, to name just a few. And we are, these are just a few numbers. As you can see, like we are managing more than 800 wastewater treatment plants and managing, let's say, like more than 80,000 kilometers of networks. So talking about, if we go to the next one, talking about water scarcity. We were told about how we understand the water scarcity and how we tackle it. So we understand that the nature of the water scarcity challenge is that global water demand, which is projected to increase by 50% by 2030, already outstrips today's global renewable water supply. That is limited or diminishing water resources that cannot satisfy long-term average requirements. The reasons or the causes of this water scarcity are more than a few, starting from a significant increase in water extractions during the last century due to, for example, population growth and economic development, and also a continued urbanization and the global increase in demand for food and fresh water, which in turn increase the demand for fertilizers. The energy demand is also increasing greenhouse emissions. We also know that freshwater-related risks of climate change increase significantly with increasing greenhouse concentrations, and also that climate change and water scarcity go hand in hand. No? Climate change over the 21st century is projected to reduce renewable surface water and groundwater resources. So I assumed you of course, you know all of this. So I wanted to give you also the context of the water services. If you go to the next slide, we have to take into account in which framework we are moving and the specific challenges of the water sector in order to identify the best ways to face water scarcity. So, for example, about infrastructure, we have old infrastructure, aging infrastructure that is conventional, centralized, with a linear approach, meaning that you have to dilute all the nutrients and send it, pump it far away, and only you're able to recover a small fraction of diluted nutrients. Also, municipal wastewater treatment plants remove 80 to 90% of the phosphorus and more than 70% of nitrogen to fulfill discharge limits. That is made at considerable expenses, around 5 kilowatts per hour per kilogram of nitrogen. The electric consumption that is needed for this is around 0.5 kilowatts hour electric per cubic meter. And also we know that the wastewater treatment plants are generating carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane, amongst others. And something that has already been said, like we know that 40,000 million cubic meters of wastewater is treated in European Union every year. But out of that, only 964 million of cubic meter of this treated wastewater is reused. There are a number of reasons behind that, as Tilly was saying, about strict requirements, monitoring, acceptability, and so on. But my idea was to focus on what are we doing from Aqualia in order to tackle these challenges. So you go to the next slide. So at the innovation department, we are working on different projects that are giving response to the challenges of the water scarcity and the sector. And we also follow the indicators of the global sustainable goals. So here there are some examples of our projects. This is not totally updated, but I wanted to give you the idea of that we are addressing different sustainable development goals, apart from the SDG 6, but there are more that where water can give a response, such as 7, that is clean and affordable energy, or 13, climate change. So the innovation department at Aqualia was created more than 10 years ago. And since then, we have been working on several technological developments that have been escalated in order to be implemented at commercial level. For the workshop, I have to extract those lines of actions and bring you a few examples. More than a technological view, I want to give you a strategic vision. All the projects have a common factor, that is the aim to always reduce the energy consumption and CO2 consumption. We also include monitoring of water quality along the water cycle as a way to address pollution, which is key and essential to human health and biodiversity. And so other lines include designing of new wastewater treatments to recover energy and obtain water to be reused. Prove new technology to recover nutrients in order to be used for fertilizer or for further use. We also look for alternative sources of water, for example, improve desalination and creating a more sustainable process. And then there are also actions that I wanted to add that are not only from a technological point of view, but I also believe that education, the creation of alliances and awareness campaigns are key also to fight water scarcity and understand the real value of water. Finally, the other common factor is the idea of the understanding the water as an integrated management. So if you go to the following one, I give you an example of what we are working on. This is one of our first projects, is the Life Memory. This is about wastewater treatment. In this example, Life Memory, we are using an anaerobic membrane reactor that is using less energy than a conventional wastewater treatment plant. It's combining anaerobic digestion with membrane filtration. The amount of sludge that is produced is smaller, and so this technology is reducing the footprint and the CO2. And then less greenhouse emissions are discharged. The ultrafiltration is also retaining solids and bacteria and even some viruses. We know if we are able to optimize the process and are able to recover energy from the biogas, the entire system would be able to have zero consumption of energy. Also, we know that nitrogen is not destroyed during the process, and so the disinfected water is rich in nutrients and could be used for irrigation. This technology is being escalated in other projects. For example, now in the Life Zero wastewater, we are increasing the capacity up to 50 cubic meters per day, and we want to try in InnoWise up to 400 cubic meters per day. We also want to get to a recovery of 95% of pathogen-free reused water and reach to a positive energy balance of 1 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. If you count the difference between the energy recovered with the anaerobic MBR and the energy consumed in a wastewater treatment plant. If you go to the following one, there is another strategy, is the use of treat wastewater with microalgae. In this case, we have studied the system from the lab to the pilot. The idea in which we are working on is to develop a robust and scalable technology for microalgae production, including harvesting and processing in a continuous mode all the year around at minimum costs. In the first project, we were able to get some numbers that are very promising. That is that treating 1,000 cubic meters of water per day, we can get 950 cubic meters water for reuse, and also obtain algae biomass that can be digested and upgraded in order to get biogas with enough quality to feed 10 cars that are able to run more than 300,000 kilometers per year. The process also itself saves 0.3 kilowatts hour per cubic meter of energy. This is one of the samples, all gas, and then keep working with Incover and Savannah that is still running. If you go to the follow example, I wanted to give an example of desalination, no? The use of alternative source of waters. We know that desalination is a very energy consuming process. And so with MIDES, we want to develop a demonstration using the microbial desalination cell MDC technology. The MDC technology is for the production of drinking water. The MDC is combined with commercial reverse osmosis technology. And the idea was to result in an average consumption when treating seawater of 0.5 kilowatts hour per cubic meter of energy consumption. That is reducing very, very much the amount of energy that is used with conventional desalination processes. We are also keep working with MDCs in InnoWise and also in other projects in order to also be able to recover the brines and make a further use of the residues of the desalination process. The following one, I'm gonna try to be fast. Following one, this is also with an anaerobic MBR, but this time the configuration is the innovation, let's say, because we are using these reactors at the source, not sending the water to the wastewater treatment plant, but treating it at the neighborhood or building level. Okay, so we place an anaerobic MBR in your garage or or at the rooftop of the office buildings. We know that centralized wastewater treatment plants can only recover a small fraction of diluted nutrients. And with this configuration, we would be able to increase the percentage of 50% in a conventional wastewater treatment plant to a higher percentage. So in the Run for Life, the decentralized treatment is based on the source separated collection of gray water, black water, and heat and waste with different treatments and increasing the percentage of recovery. So then we are producing fertilizers and regenerating water that is being tested for its use in agriculture. So I wanted to show this example because here is not a technological project, but also other factors such as social and legal acceptability of the solution has to take place for this new way to be successful. This also needs the identification and engagement of stakeholders who have to understand the challenges of the water scarcity and feel responsible to act and be willing to have this at their basement, no? Let's say. So there are like many challenges here. The following example I wanted to share was about the education, the campaign awareness and increase in transparency. Here, we could talk about smart cities where we are implementing advanced tools to monitor and predict behavior so that we can act in advance, no? Optimizing pumping energy, for example, and informing citizens. But in this case, I wanted to show the need for alliances and awareness campaigns with an example that also shows a long-term commitment. In 2015, Aqualia launched a communication plan in Ibiza and Formentera with the aim of promoting a responsible use of fresh water. This plan was based on a proactive strategy, actively involving citizen administrations and the private sector. And then these alliance members was created and they were also promoting and being part of the campaigns. So since 2016, the Alliance has led the campaign Enjoy the Island, Save the Water, which has a positive message aiming to raise awareness about the value of water. So as an example, I can say that in Ibiza, Ibiza has consumed in 2019 92 million liters of water less than in 2017. So this in turn avoids the extraction of millions of liters of underground catchments, enabling the recovery of the aquifers on the island of Ibiza. And then the last example I wanted to mention, because I think it's important to, the holistic management of the water in the sense of overseeing the natural resources, taking into account economic, cultural, and ecological goals. The idea is to approach the ecosystems rather than single part of the water cycle, since every entity is related to the other and influences the others. So all the projects that we envision are examples of a holistic management in line with circular economy, while pursuing partnerships to use wastewater and nutrients to use in agriculture, cities and majors willing to use the biogas in their buses, plus also involving citizens and creating alliances. And that's it. So the following one, just to say that this time I'm the lucky speaker, but of course there is a whole team of dedicated researchers that make all these projects possible. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, Eva, for this good overview of the different and varied solutions that you have tested and demonstrated at Aqualia. Thanks a lot. I'm going to stop sharing and see what we have in the chat. Good. Are there any dangerous substances from some watch list filtered or detected by sensors? This is a.
Why?
I guess this is a question related to the effluent. If you are doing any monitoring of dangerous substances, I don't know what.
The thing is that we are, no? definitely we take samples and we get to the lab, and you are able to identify what is in the water. Something that we would like to have, definitely, and I guess that other water utilities would like to, is that being able to monitor all kind of viruses and pathogens on an online basis. So you would be able to really monitor your water in real time. That would be the perfect thing. But it's pretty impossible, since also many of some of the substances evolved and create new elements downstream, right? And also this is something that is really interesting, and we want to take into account because of the watch list, and also increase the monitoring of new substances. But again, this is also a matter of affordability and a compromise in order to be able to monitor and treat the water. Also taking into account all the treatment processes and the price and the rest of the factors.
Great. Thanks a lot, Eva. Thanks for this very inspiring presentation. We now move on to the following session with our selected problem holders. Now we will have our 3 selected problem holders to explain to all of us, but especially to the startups, scale-ups, the SMEs that are present here, which are the challenges, so the technology providers can also adapt their elevator pitches in the next contest to be able to be the best solution to these challenges. So I'm calling now Fernando Bañón from Sanlúcar to present the first case study. Fernando is the director of production at Sanlúcar Group. He holds an MBA at agronomic engineer. An agronomic engineer degree. Fernando has a long experience in operations, strategy, and finance in agribusiness. He has worked in South America, Africa, and Europe in different strategical projects around fruit production. Thank you, Fernando, and also congratulations for being selected as a representative of the sector of agriculture. So we look forward to hearing you. Yeah, we can see your
okay,
PowerPoint.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay.
If you put it now it's great. We see perfect the PowerPoint.
Super. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. No, thanks a lot for holding us, holding Sanlúcar. It is a pleasure to be part of the program. Thanks a lot to Water Europe and to EIT Foods. We are very excited for this venture with you, and very much looking forward to find solutions to these challenges that all panelists have been showing us before. So I'm going to try to be pretty brief because we just have 6 minutes for this. So let's go for it. I want to talk about the case of Santa Maria, which is one of our orchards, which is in southeastern Spain. But first, just a quick brief about Sanlúcar. Sanlúcar, we are a company producing and commercializing fruits and vegetables. We are commercializing these fruits and vegetables for the European market, Middle East, the UK, and also other local markets like Tunisia, Ecuador, and others. We have different production sites. We have 10 different production sites in 4 different countries. When I say that we have, is that they are owned by Sanlúcar, and the rest, they are, let's say, the rest of the fruit is coming from partners and from other providers. We are working a lot on sustainability within Sanlúcar. We're working together with our CR department, together with our research and development department, together with brand department, with production department, myself. So yeah, very much, let's say, a lean towards the future, towards efficiency and towards sustainability, because as it was said before by the professor from Bologna, there are a lot of challenges, and we want to be the, let's say, early adopters of all the technologies existing. This is a quick view about Sanlúcar activity in the world. Our headquarters are here in Valencia, eastern Spain, but we have, let's say, other let's say, persons in other European countries, as well as Tunisia, South Africa, the States, United States, Ecuador, and yeah, this is pretty much all. Okay, so I narrow down let's say the topic, and we go down to Murcia, to the southeastern part of Spain. You can see there the map of Spain. So let's say our proposal for this project is our plantation of, or our orchard of Santa Maria. Santa Maria is composed by 3 different sites that you can see there pointed by the arrows, in 3 different locations in Murcia, because this allows us to produce in different moments. By the way, our apricot plantations. Total of 180 hectares, and water is coming from wells, desalination, and transfers. And transfer from Tajo Segura River. Okay, for sure. I have to tell you, we were seeing before in the maps of the professor. Let's say the strength and the importance of water shortage for Spain, and let's say more importantly even for Murcia, which is a region that is very much exposed to these kind of events. So that's the reason why we are focusing in here. We have another plantation in Zaragoza, but this one is less exposed. Just a quick, let's say this is one of the maps of a plantation. In the picture to the right, you can see in the middle the partner, our partner of the plantation, together the farm manager, and to the left is myself. It's just to let you know who are the people who is behind this project. Well, this is one of the orchards, which is called Fenazar. You can see that it's very dry in the surroundings. Apricot plantation, 20 hectares. Drip irrigation, and an annual rainfall of around 300 millimeters. This is the plantation to the north of Murcia. This is a little bit more rainy, around 400 millimeters of rain, more mountains in the surroundings, and this is also apricot. This picture was taken, I think, in March. Yeah, so 128 hectares out of the 170 hectares of the orchard. And this is the third plantation, which is called Librilla. It's 20 hectares. Drip irrigation as well. Apricot plantation. This picture was taken in February. A little bit more rainfall than in the other, but still very, very short in water, to 321 millimeters. And yeah, the dates, let's say the dates of harvest is between week 18 to week 22. So this is the early apricots that are let's say the earliest apricots of the European market. Good. Okay, let's go now to the problem, the challenge. Well, as I was saying, let's say I would say the water management is in Murcia's region is on the spotlight. It's our #1 bottleneck, I would say. Why is this? Well, this is because the cost of water is very high, up to 45 cents per cubic meter. You know, this fluctuates. It's not always like this. But let's say we reach even prices higher than this. So let's say this is important because this represents 8 times more expensive than what we pay in Zaragoza in the north of Spain. So let's say this puts us in a situation of competitive disadvantage. As I was saying, there is an important risk of drought. As Professor was saying, let's say the increase of exposure to droughts is going to be on the rise. There's going to be, we've had in 2017 years with less than 200 millimeters of rain. So we have to put our efforts on reducing and making water usage more efficient. And also there is a political uncertainty because we get water from the transfer of Tajo. And this is pretty political. It let's say depends on the agreements between governments, autonomical governments. And so we are exposed to this. Apart from this water scarcity, there is also the concern of water, of water salinity. The water that we have is often very, very, very salty. And well, the potential solutions, we're working on these not only here in Santa Maria, but also in other plantations. We're working on different solutions for increasing water efficiency, to work with satellite imagery, to work with sensors, to work with products that, let's say, retain humidity in the soil, to work with agronomical management to increase let's say the retention of water. And we want to progressively work more with artificial intelligence and technology to, let's say, to make them leverage the process and leverage the efficiency of water. And I'm running late. So last but not least is that if we get to, let's say, if we get to implement these efficiency projects in water, and we get to produce the same with less water, this is going to be great, not only for us, it's going to be great for our partners, it's going to be great for our suppliers, this is going to be great for the economy of the region of Murcia, because the idea is to benchmark and to transfer this technology. And in a nutshell, this is going to be great for the agricultural sector. So thanks a lot for your attention, and I'm here to answer any question that might arise.
Thank you very much, Fernando, for keeping the time. We move on to the next case study, and then we have some questions at the end. Okay, so next case study is coming from Greece. We have the presentation of Thomas Seitaridis, who has more than 20 years of experience as chemical engineering, and is currently the engineer of the technical department of Municipal Water Supply and Sewerage Company of Pilaya or Tiati. I hope I pronounced it well. He comes from the JAP. Also, congratulations to you, Thomas, for being selected in this very competitive call. So the floor is yours. Remember that you have 5-6 minutes for a presentation. So we look forward to hearing you.
Okay. Thank you in advance for the acceptance of our application. Do you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay,
Perfect. Thomas, go ahead.
So we are a very small public authority, but we're trying to move things to the next level. When I first came here in Pilaya-Hortiatis 5 years ago, we drew a preliminary plan of works that needed to be done in order that this authority works better for the people we serve. So we have arranged some studies to replace the water supply network and the water storage facilities here in our area of authority. So we have so far a 3 million grant from the Ministry of Interior, and we're expecting a 50 more million grant in order to change the whole distribution network. Furthermore, we have established a telemetry system that in order to monitor our facilities in real time, but we didn't stay there. We were trying to make things a little more sophisticated. So we're trying to establish a decision support system in order to manage all our facilities in with one scope, the preservance of water. So we have a strategic plan in collaboration with Aristoteles University of Thessaloniki and Mr. Professor Voudouris and Mr. Kazakis. So we are trying to monitor the groundwater and also preserve its history. History here in Thessaloniki is Agia Paraskevy Kanat. It is a subsurface tunnel for collecting and transporting water. This canal was built during the Ottoman period to supply water in the city of Thessaloniki. So the main Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly, Thomas.
Okay. To supply water to the city of Thessaloniki. The city of Thessaloniki now has 1 million in population. So, and we are trying to monitor this system because it is not only the history, but is a physical spring of water. So we don't want to make that water go for nothing. So we try to monitor this, the quality, the quantity, the flow rate, and to do this, we try to establish maybe a meteorological station level, all flow rate sensors. And that was the main idea that came up when I saw this call for proposals. I don't have anything else to add. It is something that is not very crucial for us because it is it doesn't have a high flow rate, but it's crucial for us to establish a system that which will allow us to monitor other facilities. And this is because it is also a historic area, and it will be a monument for us if we examine this, we solve this problem we have to monitor the quality and the quantity of the water produced in this canat.
Good. Thanks a lot, Thomas. Thanks also for
Okay, I was very fast, I think.
No, but it was clear, and we are happy that you have very concrete problems, and I really hope we find the solutions among our innovators. Good. So if you can stop sharing, it's now time for our last case study. Last but not least, we have the case study of the water utility Cicli Integrati Impianti Primari, and the presenter will be Francesco Fatone, who is full professor of chemical environmental engineering at the March Polytechnic University in Italy. Francesco has been a coordinator in several water-related EU-funded projects, mainly pilot or demo scale related to circular economy and sustainable water management. He's also the co-leader of Value in Water Cluster within the Water Europe platform, and General Secretary of the IWA Resource Recovery Cluster. Concerning this workshop, Francesco is consulting the water utility CIIP for innovation-based solutions to urban water management and reuse. So thank you, Francesco, for being here, and also congratulations for being selected as a problem holder. So the floor is yours. We look forward to hearing you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rafa, and thank you for inviting us. Well, here I am replacing Claudio Carini, who is the head of wastewater treatment department that he's having some operational issues to solve. And I'm going to present the case study of CIP, that is the fully public owned water utility of the province of Ascoli Inferno in the south of Marche region. This utility is fully public owned, so the shareholders are the municipalities, and this is facilitating also the engagement of citizens, and is managing the integrated water cycle from water production up to the water treatment in 59 municipalities in central Italy, in an area that is going from the Apennines to Adriatic coast. So it's a very heterogeneous area. In general, over 30 million cubic meters are delivered annually, 4,600 kilometers of drinking water network, and 2,200 kilometers of sewer system, over 90 wastewater treatment plants. The vast majority is less than 10,000 population equivalent, 300 combined sewer overflow in such a small area. And well, this used to be a water-rich area. What was the problem? That in 2016, so we had a quite well-known regretful earthquake, and this caused problems in the availability of groundwater, because water sources that were very productive reduced a lot the capacity, and now this area turned to be a water scarce area. So you can see what we have in the last news over the last years. Well, it's in Italian, but I hope many of you will understand. Water crisis. This is the utility CIP that is under the length of water crisis that is affecting also then the governance, the water tariff that was not, let's say, planned and programmed to deal with water crisis. And still we have water crisis because the water infrastructure were designed and operated to deal with that water production before the earthquake. So that's a crucial issue to be addressed, how a natural disaster can affect the water availability. Now, several of the case studies that can be included in this quite wide area, but we selected one of the most complex, that is the agglomeration of San Benedetto del Tronto. So we are in south of Italy. San Benedetto del Tronto has a resident population of 47,000 residents, but in summer, there are more than 800,000 tourist presence per year, in which the vast majority is in hotel. We have, this is a blue flag site, so bathing water is highly important. And the catchment is starting from the inland up to the coast, and the water infrastructure is parallel to the coast and also transversal to the coast. So in this area, we have several water users because we have the domestic, highly fluctuating, and the highest water demand is in the water scarce period in summer. But we have also, this Sentina area is a Nature 2000 natural park where the water use for environmental purposes, so the ecological water use is very important. In addition, we have water use for agriculture and water use for industries, all concentrated, the majority in summer. So that's very complex situation, but some lucky, let's say, logistics that close to the Sentina area, that is this natural park, with very high biodiversity. It's an area of 177 hectares that is with 1.7 kilometer of coastline, with habitat, dunes, wetland, and so on. We have here the wastewater treatment plant that can provide water for use for the Sentina area where needed, or to agriculture when needed, or to local industry when needed. So we really need here a fit-for-purpose solution that is providing water for environmental uses, for agriculture, or when necessary for industries, but mainly environmental and agriculture. It's a unique case probably that is linking water scarcity and biodiversity. And what about the treatment plant that is here? Well, the treatment plant is one of the largest of the utility that is has a design capacity of 180,000 population equivalent. In winter, about 40, in summer, about 200. And the average flow rate is 25,000 cubic meter per day. And this is a traditional treatment train with secondary treatment. And the upgrade of this plant to allow water use is currently under feasibility study with an interface also with the regional government. So in terms of governance issues, there is an ongoing discussion even with the market region to address this crucial issue, to demonstrate how water scarcity can be addressed by fit-for-purpose solutions. So the focus of the problem is to apply a systemic approach that is integrating agriculture and natural park as users of municipal wastewater treated in a way that is used mainly by the natural park in some periods of the year, in agriculture in some other periods, and in order to balance the water availability and uses in the agglomeration and in the area, and providing also less pressure on the groundwater, which is currently under overexploitation. Thank you very much. And here you have the contacts. Of course, Claudio, I think has joined us or is here with us. And here you can find also my contact. But of course, the main contact is Claudio Carini, that is the head of the wastewater department.
Thanks a lot, Francesco. Thanks a lot for your clear explanations. Well, we have some time for questions. I read some questions in the chat. First question is for Fernando. Fernando, can you imagine to use treated wastewater for irrigation after treatment with using nature-based solutions? It's something we do have think about. It's something feasible.
Yes, it should be feasible. We just have to have this kind of water stations in the surroundings, so it would be feasible. It's just a matter of let's say taking into account the chemical analysis and the biological characteristics of the water. But yes, it would be feasible because it is feasible in other agricultural projects. So yeah. Good.
Thank you. A question for Thomas. Thomas, is the water spring area in Coriatis somehow protected against environmental pollution?
We are monitoring the water with by taking samples day by day, but it is not monitored in real time. We have a system that warns us when the level is high, so we exclude it from the distribution network. We don't have a secure system that can monitor the quality of the water. We have that is the main thing we need to do in this project now.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question for Francesco. You were describing this Centina Natural Reserve. It's I guess there is natural treatment there. Can you or not? How is water treatment in this natural park? And if
currently the natural park is fed by the let's say surface water system, by the irrigation infrastructure that is providing water to agriculture and finally to the Centina area. So in case of water scarcity, they have to balance the water for the natural park and the water for agriculture. So there is no, it's not a treatment plant, it's not a constructed wetland.
Okay.
It's a saline area that is needing further water, probably from other sources, from alternative sources.
And there is already any kind of infrastructure, for example, for bringing water from an urban wastewater treatment plant?
No, but
not
the
yet.
wastewater treatment plant is there, so it's quite
there.
Easy. Yeah, so it's quite easy to have this distribution system.
So it will be a potential solution for you, water reuse.
Yes.
Very clearly. Good. Any further questions from the public, from other panelists? Okay, if not, we are very much on time, 5 minutes to 5. And well, I have to thank you, all of you, for being here, our speakers, the scale-ups that are with us, the case study representatives. It was a very inspiring event. I think we learned a lot about the different challenges from the sectors. I'm glad to see already like potential opportunities for collaboration at different levels. I like to see that circular approaches are very much in favor, like water reuse was very much present as nature-based solutions. That's very good, because we are like combining respect with the environment, protecting biodiversity, and also being more efficient. So trying to be to have economic incentives for me more effective and more innovative. So I'm very happy with today's session. And just to repeat that this is the first event. There will be more. Some of the events will be closed to the more specifically to the program participants, but there will be also open events for everybody. We will keep you posted. And Carmen, you want to say something to closure the event?
Thank you, Rafa. I think you've covered most of what I wanted to say, which is thank you to everyone. And I'm really happy to see that from the experts and what has been exposed as the key challenges and also the business case that we have for the program this year are aligned. And I'm looking forward to see how the program evolves and what are the collaborations and the synergies that arises from these activities. Just to wrap up a little bit, I just want to do a summary, like for the mentors, for the solution providers. We will see you in our matchmaking event on Tuesday. You will receive more information from us in the following days. For the problem holders, Fernando, Thomas, where are you, Francesco, and Claudio? We will meet together. You will have the chance to meet all the participants next Friday. And you will also receive information from us. And for the rest of you, thank you very much for attending. I hope this presentation was interesting for you, and don't hesitate to follow. Stay tuned for the next activities that we will have. The competitions will take place end of September, early October. The water academies will take place October, November. And of course, welcome. You are more than welcome to attend. And that's it from my side, I think.
Good. Thanks a lot, everybody, and it's been a pleasure. We keep in touch for sure. Bye bye. Thank you very much to the speakers. It was awesome.
Yes.
To have you guys here. Very awesome.
Bye bye.
Good.
Ciao.
Good.
We could stop the recording.
Yeah. Great. Good. So not bad at all.